that the beginning part of this video really didn't need too much of an introduction because, let's be honest, the images kind of speak for themselves. Hey guys, I'm Morphologist, and in this episode, I'm going to show you guys the Overseer and hopefully help you decide whether or not the Overseer is right for your fleet. So let's start where any ship captain would, on the bridge. First, you'll notice these incredibly shiny and beautiful command consoles. Well, these things were created by Colt and taken over recently by the designer Eichster, a name all battleship captains trust and is a standard option on the Overseer. Also standard throughout are Arundel's corner lights, a new standard in deep space lighting. But what about the brains of this ship? Well, aside from the captain, of course, you've got AI units, 2 of them to be precise, in the main bridge. These things were designed by Darth Biomech and are a must-have for any serious warship. Keeping it cool and pumping oxygen into your lungs, though, are Sectan's integrated vents into Sectan's walls. As you can see, no expense was spared on the interior design. But let's move now down to the main deck. Seeing as how these are the main living quarters of the crew and the place where you'll probably spend a lot of your time in deep space missions, Sectan's interior wall pack was utilized. This ensures that if you ever hit the wall in a high-G maneuver, you'll be safe and your ship will look good doing it. But what about staying in shape? Well, included on board is a weightlifting room to help keep your Marines in tip-top shape. But working out and ship life in general is smelly work, and that's why also standard are showers, created from Eichster's interior pack, versions 1 and 2. Just adjacent to the showers are a place to store your stuff before you get all naked. That's the locker room. But just in case of violent decompression or death, also standard is this handy medical room. Away from home on a longer mission? Not a problem. The Overseer also has on this deck a bunk room. Unfortunately, the 0G bed is extra. But let's move on to the main part of the ship, engineering. This deck is actually comprised of 2 levels and starts with a mezzanine that overlooks the arc reactors by SE Motor 4, which is controlled by this secondary control console. Also conveniently tucked away in this location are the gyroscopes, allowing for easy access and repair for your engineering staff, a feature that prevents the need for spacewalks that often end in death. Now, this next part of the video is for those of you who are real engineers, the guys who want to see what's under the hood, how it goes from 0 to maximum death in no time at all. Getting down to lower engineering is a cinch using Ven's scaffolding pack, an excellent alternative to sheer drops. Gee, it's nice not having broken legs. But what's behind door number 1? A jump drive, of course, but it doesn't stop there. Also included in here is the backup oxygen supply and gravity generator, keeping them safe from intruders and keeping oxygen in your lungs and your feet firmly on the ground, wherever that might be. Space is relative. Well, since I want to have children sometime in the future, I'm going to move away from the gravity generator. I don't care how safe they tell me those things are. Well, the next part is a little bit tricky, and because I like living, I'm going to drop my visor and close this door, and go through the airlock, which leads me out to a decompressed area of the ship, which is the main floor of engineering. And of course, this is where all the magic happens. It's here that we can see the 3 arc reactors by SE Motor 4 which are powering this gigantic laser beam ship. Just these 3 can power a colony for an entire year. But how does a ship so massive and so powerful turn so quickly? Well, that's accomplished by just not having hull plating on the bottom of the ship. Just don't get shot from this angle. But let's move on to why you're really here. This, my friends, is the heart and soul of the Overseer. From the Star Wars weapons pack by Razortron, this is the mini Death Star laser. And it's what you cut through your enemies with like tissue paper. Beam direction and firing, though, is accomplished by a grouping of capacitors and a gravitational suspensor field, accessible by climbing up one of Digi's ladders. And these pulsating yellow lights, well, they're just there to terrify your enemies. And to look cool while doing it. But let's take a look at the capacitor array and how we make sure those things stay cool, which is completely necessary to prevent unwanted and sudden explosions. Instead of conventionally fixed ventilation, Eichster's boarding ramps are used so that they can be closed in the event of boarding. So this way you get the benefit of maximum cross-ventilation with the option to lock down your ship in the event that somebody might try to fit through the ventilation. Let's be honest here though, they just kind of look cool. But also, practically speaking, shooting one of these things can be a pretty bad idea and also result in unwanted explosions. Well, I hope this video's been informative. I've got to get going because I didn't let the Federation know I was going to be using some of their Constellation class ships for target practice. If you're interested in this ship, be sure to check the description below to find out how you can get your hands on one of these things, and I hope to see you guys next time.